And welcome to the show, brothers and sisters. It is Wednesday, April 1st. That's right, April Fool's Day. I'm Dino Bidala, always here to be your MBFF. On Twitter, at Dino Bidala, Facebook.com/Dean of Radio. You can watch the live stream. I'm wearing my shirt that says, "Just saying niet to Moscow Mitch." I got it from the Kentucky Democrats, so I'm wearing it. You can watch it on the live stream if you so choose right now. And here's not an April Fool's joke. SiriusXM is free from now to May 15th. That's right. Everything. All the channels are free. So if you're a subscriber, then share it with your friends. Tell your friends, here's a great time to check out SiriusXM for free. No credit card information, nothing. Just go to the link, SiriusXM.com/stream free. Or Google SiriusXM stream free. You'll get it. And just click on it and tell them to listen to this show and our whole channel on progress. Because we're trying to build our ranks. That's what we're going to use it for. Swell our ranks for Election Day. We got so much to work on. But here's the good news. It is April 1st. You know what that means? As Trump promised us on February 10th, what's going to happen in April? Matt, remind him on clip number 1. That's right. Donald Trump said in April, the virus goes away with the heat. Anyone know when in April and maybe the time of day the actual heat comes? Is it more towards noon? This is unreal. Now, the sad reality, let's live in the real world now. In America, the number of coronavirus cases has eclipsed 200,000. And sadly, the death toll, a short time ago when I checked, and before the show is over, it'll sadly rise even more. Over 4,700 Americans have died from the coronavirus, at least that many. And today, Mike Pence went on CNN. Donald Trump won't go on CNN, but Pence went on CNN. And Wolf Blitzer pressed him on the idea of the slower response of the Trump administration to the virus. And here you're going to find out from Mike Pence what the talking point by the GOP will be. And this will be a uniform talking point. And it's, of course, not accept responsibility. Not say maybe we made mistakes. Not at all go, I wish we were more on top of it. Or even subtly go, we learned some things. We made some inadvertent mistakes. Americans might accept that. Instead, he just blames China. Because this is what people who fail do. Losers blame others. People who are successful take responsibility. So here is Wolf Blitzer pressing Mike Pence, and listen to who he blames. Clip number 2, please. And then Wolf Blitzer followed up. He did a good job. So there's Mike Pence saying, we didn't know and China was hiding it. And China is not transparent. There's no disputing that. Definitely that's true. But the reality is that soon Trump understood this was a real threat. Soon. By January, it was on U.S. soil, January 20th. But Donald Trump continued to belittle the threat of this virus. And Mike Pence was pressed on that by Wolf Blitzer today. And listen to Mike Pence get very defensive. No, we did not belittle it at all. And how he says that with a straight face and saying Trump did not belittle the threat, did not minimize it, did not undermine it, is ridiculous. It is the gaslighting of the gaslighters. Here's clip number 3. He is not. It doesn't matter if he's an optimistic person. The president is a liar. You know, we had a Trump supporter last night who got upset with me. He said, Trump doesn't lie. I played the clip where he said 15 people are sick now and soon it'll be zero. He goes, well, he didn't lie. He just made a mistake. Then you can choose. Is he a liar or is he incompetent? Those are the options. Or a merger of the two. A liar and incompetent, which is what I really believe. Didn't care. He had other goals. But the idea that Mike Pence would say that Donald Trump did not belittle the threat of this virus is laughable. That Mike Pence, like Trump, can lie to the American people with a straight face. I opened the show with the clip of Trump saying on February 10th, that it goes away in April with the heat. What is that doing? That's belittling a life-threatening pandemic. That's February 10th. I play the clip over and over where Donald Trump said on February 26th, we have 15 cases. Soon it's going to go to zero. 2 days later, Donald Trump said this at his rally. And listen to the words, and you tell me, objectively, is Donald Trump belittling the threat of the virus? Or is he, Mike Pence, saying, just being optimistic? Here's clip number 4. And again, what was the media talking about? What was the media hysteria going on? That was late February, folks. That was February 28th. What was the media hysteria? That this is a life-threatening virus that is going to ravage the United States of America the same way it was ravaging Italy at the time. At that very time, nearly 500 people in Italy had died, and it was exploding across their nation. Oh, about 10 days later, there's Donald Trump saying, and I'll read his tweet, March 9th. And this is not February, this is not January, this is March 9th. Donald Trump tweets here, and again, the effort here is to belittle the threat. He said, so last year, 37,000 Americans died from the common flu. It averages between 27,000 and 70,000 per year. Nothing is shut down. Life and the economy go on. At this moment, there are 546 confirmed cases of coronavirus in the U.S. with 22 deaths. Think about it. He says, think about it. What is he doing there? He's trying to say, this is no big deal. This was March 9th. March 9th, no big deal. And some might say, well, Dean, you're not being fair because early March, we didn't know everything, even though we had cases across America at this time, not as many as now, of course, but we had them spreading. Well, Donald Trump on March 24th, 8 days ago, was on Fox News. And what did he say 8 days ago, not 3 weeks ago, not last month, 8 days ago? Listen to Donald Trump belittle the threat. Here's clip number 5. That was Donald Trump belittling the threat. That was, folks, the same Donald Trump that last night talked about 100,000 or more Americans could die. That clip you just heard was last week. That's the same Trump. I don't know what happened in Donald Trump's mind that last week he was belittling the threat, saying we don't need to close things down. I had Trump supporters calling here, Trump allies on TV going, they're trying to close down America to hurt Donald Trump. And then literally 1 week later for Trump to be somber yesterday and say 100,000 Americans are going to die if we're lucky. If we do a good job, 100,000 will die. And Dr. Fauci and Dr. Birx said the range is 100,000 to 240,000 if we do everything right. Literally a week ago, the guy was talking about auto accidents being more lethal than this virus. Donald Trump misled good Americans. When this is over, there has to be, obviously, a full investigation into the failings of the system, but also into the lies of Donald Trump. And if we can find out that he knowingly misled Americans, I've made this point over and over, that I believe Donald Trump is criminally liable for manslaughter because he knew there was a risk to people's lives. He disregarded that risk recklessly, and that's the term of law you need there to have manslaughter, recklessly disregarded that risk and misled people on purpose. Why? He wanted to lessen it. He didn't want to hurt the stock market. He didn't want to lose an applause line at a rally to say the stock market's all-time high and the economy's the highest ever. That's all gone. Tomorrow we're going to get new unemployment filings. Last week, to remind people, we had a record number from week to week, 3.3 million people filed last week. Estimates are it could be 2 million more tomorrow. It could be 1 million more. I'm not rooting for a lot. I wish it was none, but we're going to see massive layoffs each week going forward. But here's what I want to get your input on. And it's something that Dee from Washington, D.C. called last night, and I thought about it, and she's right. She was saying we can't wait till November to beat Donald Trump, and she didn't mean literally we're going to wait, but our focus can't be the fall in beating Donald Trump. We need to make the message now to our fellow Americans why Democratic leadership in the time of the next crisis, because there'll be a next crisis, is what we want over Donald Trump. And why after that crisis, it's Democratic leadership that'll be the one that can revive the economy and help our fellow Americans. You know, think about this. This is objective. Republican presidents have been the captains of the ship in the Great Recession and the Big Depression. It was Herbert Hoover in the Great Depression, and it was George Bush in the Great Recession. What did it take? It took a Democratic president to follow them to right this ship. FDR famously in the Great Depression, and President Obama after George W. Bush. Republicans give you recessions and tax cuts for the wealthy. Democratic presidents give you economic growth, and they give you bold programs which help people. And I think that's where it comes in, and Dee's point about Democrats now doing something. What I want to talk about is Democrats being leaders and embracing big, bold government like FDR. Because what we're about to see, folks, and you have to get your mind around this, we are about to see numbers close to the Great Depression, not the Great Recession. The Great Depression, if any of the estimates are correct. On the low end, Goldman Sachs yesterday estimates we're going to see 15% unemployment. In the Great Recession, the highest it hit was 10%. 15%, we have not seen that since when? The Great Depression. In fact, the Federal Reserve yesterday, a report came out saying on the high end, we might see 30% unemployment. During the Great Depression, unemployment never got over 25%. So I think Democrats should look at FDR's policies, the ones that he used in the 1930s, and start articulating and advocating those very types of policies, update them, of course, for a new time. And what I find troubling is that Donald Trump, yesterday and today again, is the one proposing the bold FDR-type policies, not the Democrats. He is going to the left of Democratic leadership. And our leaders are not out there on TV and in Congress and championing them. And yes, I know Barney is for a big, bold plan. Don't get me wrong. I'm talking about as a unified voice with the leadership now in the House and the Senate. What did Trump do yesterday? He tweeted, even using FDR-type words. He goes, it should be about an infrastructure plan. It should be very big and bold, $2 trillion, and be focused solely on jobs and rebuilding the once great infrastructure of our country. And today, Secretary Mnuchin, Secretary of Treasury, was on CNBC saying, yep, we're all on this. And I'm talking to Democrats in Congress to make this happen. You're talking to Democrats in Congress. Democrats should be leading this. Our leaders, if you want to win in November, we got to show Americans we just don't go along with Trump, but we lead. He can't go to the left of us. We have to show these are Democratic initiatives. Let me read you off some of the FDR proposals that became policy. Some of them are part of our daily life today. This is all Democratic stuff. And damn it, if the Republicans, if Trump can go to our left now, and the House and Senate Democrats don't lead on this, it's ridiculous. Look, in the Depression, 24.9% unemployment. Worse than that, and this is not talked about much, but this is the future for many of us, those who keep your job are going to see wage loss. In the Great Depression, people who lost their jobs said that wages on average fell about 40%. Think about that. What you're making now might be 10, 20, 40% less because you're just happy to have a job. So what did he do? FDR, obviously, we all know this, the New Deal. In the first 100 days of his administration, he pushed for various policies. Some became law. It wasn't enough. He did a second New Deal, and some of those programs are, I think, instructive for today. One being the Works Progress Administration, WPA, provided jobs for unemployed people. Doing what? Building infrastructure, what Trump is talking about. This was a Democratic initiative. In fact, President Obama tried to do a similar thing in the Great Recession, and who stopped him? The Republicans in the Senate. So he should be doing, our Democrats at WPA. What else did FDR do that you really can't copy this now, but Social Security is all because of FDR. Unemployment insurance, what we know today, that's all from FDR. That was part of Social Security. So it just gives you an idea, but think big. The list goes on. FDR had the Agriculture Adjustment Administration at stabilized farm prices, saving farms. The Civilian Conservation Corps provided jobs to unemployed youths while improving the environment. The Tennessee Valley Authority provided jobs while helping build infrastructure to the rural areas. The National Recovery Administration stabilized consumer good prices. This is the kind of things that our Democratic leaders have to be talking about. Big, bold ideas that address the failings of what we went through now and give you a vision for the future. In fact, today, Governor Cuomo talked about one thing he proposed. Just looking back at what we're seeing and what we're living through. Here's clip number 6, Governor Cuomo today. Exactly. Show America we have a vision ahead of this. The idea of having policies that incentivize companies doing business, making their products here in America, would be great. To do more of that, I think, is important, fundamentally important. As we've seen now, our supply lines around the world are failing us. That's why you can't buy Lysol at the store, or toilet paper, or masks, or ultimate prescriptions, and ventilators. And there are other programs like, look at FDR, the Work Product Progress Administration, a program like that advocating. Healthcare for all, they can call it Medicare for all, anything you want. Come out now, Democrats, and champion this. I mean, Joe Biden is being hesitant on supporting healthcare for all. That is a losing proposition. Be bold, Mr. Biden. Be very bold. Say you're healthcare for all. We are just spending trillions of dollars on this other stuff. We can spend it on the American people. Healthcare for all. We should be doing that. We should be talking about same programs FDR, about giving jobs that help protect the environment, like the Green New Deal. It doesn't have to be called that. It could be more focused because the Green New Deal involves so many things. The same idea. You know, they did Tennessee Valley Authority with FDR for rural development. Well, we can do a similar program to make sure we can get fiber cable and fiber optics to the rural parts of this country, and internet where there's none. And you use the government to hire people, to give them jobs. At the same time, you're doing something to invest in our infrastructure. This is what we need. We need broad vision. We need bold vision. We need a vision that talks about senior citizens. There's a huge hole in Medicare where if you're a senior and you have to go to a nursing home and you can't afford it, you got to spend down all your assets before you qualify for Medicaid. Or if you want a home nurse to live with you because you need it, because the doctors say you need it, It's not covered until you're impoverished. These are the kind of bold things our Democrats talk about. And how do you pay for them? We're going to figure that out. But they have no problem doing a tax cut for the wealthy, the Republicans. But when it comes to helping people, it's always about where are we going to pay for it? How are we going to pay for this? So my plea to Democratic leaders is go read what FDR did to save this nation during the Great Depression, because that is where we are heading as a nation. Are you ready for that? And propose FDR bold, big programs. Democrats, don't allow Trump to go to your left and then advocate our policies. This is our time to shine. This is what our party's about. So it is time for our Democratic leaders to lead big and bold, inspire people. This is the time. And I'd love to hear from you. What do you think Democrats should be proposing right now in Congress? Because we do have the House. And Speaker Pelosi, the reporting is today, is talking to the Trump administration about infrastructure. That's great. But what about our next big proposal? Wow, people. Show them what we're about. We are the party that gave this country, it is a Democrat. If you like Social Security, thank a Democrat. You like Medicare, thank a Democrat. You like Medicaid, thank a Democrat. You like the Children's Health Insurance Program, thank a Democrat. Do you like the fact that your pre-existing medical conditions are covered? Thank a Democrat. You like the fact that insurers can't drop you because you're sick? Thank a Democrat. If you like the idea that women can't be charged more than men for the same insurance policy, thank a Democrat. Because all of that I just listed, that last part, was all the ACA and President Obama, which was enacted to remind you without one single Republican vote. In fact, they've done everything they can since then to end all of those benefits and more. So if you like government that helps you, vote for a Democrat. And this is our time to shine. Show America what we're about. There's going to be a revisiting and a look back as to the failures of this administration. And to be fair, it appears objectively that administrations in the past never planned for this exact moment, for this massive pandemic. And we are now reporting today that the National Depot Federal Reserves are almost gone for everything. It is startling to say that. If Trump did not do misinformation and lies over and over, we'd have a different conversation. We'd just be hoping for the best. But his misleading Americans is something that has to be examined, and I believe done intentionally and rising to a crime. But putting that aside, it is now time for Democrats to show America what we are about, why we are not Republicans. They're the ones that want to see small government and tax cuts for the wealthy. We want to see government work for everyone, especially the middle and lower class. The wealthy are fine. They don't need our help. What do you want to see from Democratic leadership? Are you happy with our Democratic leadership? Do you want to see them promoting more proposals? If you do, I'd love to hear from you. Tell me what you want to see. Don't forget, we have many elected officials come on. In fact, we have Senator Jeff Merkley coming on the next hour from Oregon. And tomorrow I had the member of Congress on, Ilhan Omar. Yesterday I had on Mark Poquet. I will share your views with these members of the House and the Senate about what the base wants them to be doing more of. We were in this together. As I've said countless times, we cannot wait for the Democratic leaders to lead. We are the leaders we're waiting for. It's up to us to push them. And this is one of those times. 866-997-4748. Give me a call. I'd love to hear from you. You're my guest right to the top of the hour. Be right back.